Welcome into your reading for this week. I am T from Tiny Divinations, here to break down the cards with you. So, as usual, we have our three piles. Pick the pile or piles that resonate for you, or pick a number between 0 and 9, and the number you choose will appear on each pile now. Before we get into our piles, really quickly, I am having a summer sale. So if you'd like your own personal reading, you can book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. My 75-minute live reading is on sale for 40% off. When you put the reading in your cart, you will see the discount. Also, follow the channel and share this message with somebody who may need it. Let's get into our readings. Welcome in, Group 1. Let's get into your cards. So, the Motivation Manifesto is actually a words of wisdom for the week, so we'll get back into that. The card that you have for the energy of your week is Moon Emotions. So, some of the energy that we have for you this week is about feelings. It's about feeling into your feelings. It's about sitting with your emotions, whether they're happy emotions, whether they're sad emotions, whatever it is in between, being able to recognize your emotions, sitting with things that come up this week, being able to sit with other people's emotions, getting rid of or moving through habits that have you feel like you can't express your emotions or you can't share what you're feeling or that you are weaker for feeling what you're feeling or that you're anything less than for having emotions as if you're not a human being. So this is some of the energy that comes up. It feels like for some people it may be emotions that like come up kind of out of the blue that you have to deal with. For other people, it may be just being emotional in general and just having feelings of up and downs throughout the week. And for others, that, like I said, it feels like these are some emotions that have already kind of been present that we're really just having to confront in a sense this week. So this is some of what I get from the initial emotions card. As of when I'm recording this too, there's also a new moon this week. New moons is a dark phase in a sense, so it is a time where we can go into ourselves, where it's kind of more introspection. So the introspection, the emotions, the feelings, things coming up definitely makes a lot of sense as of right now. So this is what we get from the moon emotions card. Let's pull a few more cards to see what else we get from the energy. Okay. Okay, so lightning, disruption, and then joy, smiley face. So similar to what I was saying before, our emotions may be like all over the place this week. We may have ups and downs in terms of our emotions this week. I think that things will definitely come up that will cause us to be a little bit emotional. And I feel like for some people, it is the emotions coming up themselves. Like there may be emotions or things, feelings that hit you kind of like lightning, like boom, it comes out of nowhere. You don't expect it. It may shock you a little bit. It may frighten you a little bit. You may not have realized that you had these feelings, or you may have thought this was something that you kind of moved through or something like that. Um, the joy card within all this suggests that like it's not all bad, right? Again, we have ups and downs this week. It may be a little bit of a roller coaster this week. It feels like there may be a little bit of turbulence this week in our lives. So it may be good surprise, maybe bad surprises, and maybe some ups and downs, goods and bads. You know, I keep saying the same thing, but like that's very, it feels just like that. Like it just feels like that. And with the moon card, we have phases of the moon. So it's like if shit is going weird in the beginning of the week, don't hold on to it because, you know, you're moving through and you'll get to a point where shit is better. Or it may be that, like I said, you're just feeling like ups and downs of it and you kind of just got to hold on and brace yourself for the ride of this week, you know, and hold on to the things that you can hold on to that make you happy, that bring you joy, that bring you a little bit of peace and semblance of like relaxation. Um, in spite of the disruption that happens, So, like, this is a little bit of what this is really feeling like. Lightning also lights up the sky, it illuminates. So, there may be something that's illuminated to you this week. You may get information on something. You may be able to see something clearly. You may be able to see something that you didn't um, even know was there. Um, the same is said with like some of the energy of the moon. Um, these are also like natural forces or like acts of God in a sense. So it may be that something that is disruptive this week or something that happens is kind of out of your control. There was nothing you could do to stop it. There was nothing you could do to change it. You kind of, like I said, just have to kind of ride it out and find the moments that you can to smile, to have joy, to not be so like bogged down by what may happen or the emotions that you may be feeling this week. So this is what I'm getting from the energy of your week. Let's move into some more specific things that may be going on. Okay, so getting into some more specific things that we may be dealing with this week, we have follow your dreams, we have forgiveness, and individuality. And I just want to get some clarifiers. Oh. Y'all weren't really shuffled. I'm gonna put y'all back because that kind of threw out with my thumb. Okay, let me actually shuffle. There we go. And again, y'all are just throwing things at me. Huh. And he's back. Okay. Okay, so starting with follow your dreams. The clarifier we have for follow your dreams is the tower reverse. So, specifically, some of the things that are happening for some people this week, especially the things that are disruptive, the things that are volatile, the things that are a shock to you, the things that are kind of bringing things apart or like feel like they're like pushing against certain things are happening because it's getting you unstuck. It feels like there are people that need to pursue certain avenues or pursue certain things or go a certain way. And right now, you're kind of fighting against that. You're delaying your process. You're keeping yourself stuck in certain ways. You're not dreaming big enough. You're not believing that you can have, you're not believing that the timing is going to happen or that the things are going to line up for you the way that they're supposed to, and or like I said, the things that are happening this week, you don't see them as opportunity. You don't recognize that it's tearing something apart or it's taking something down so that you can have the ability to follow your dreams, so that you can move something out of the way, so that you can follow a certain path. So like that's definitely something that's happening for people this week, something that's coming up, something to pay attention to, especially like I said, with the disruption. You have the lightning in this card, like you had the lightning in the other card. So it's definitely corollary, right? Then we have the forgiveness card with the hangman clarifier also reversed. This may speak to the emotion energy we got in the moon card. It feels like specifically some people may have situations this week where someone does something that you feel like you can't forgive, something that's really hurtful to you, something that brings up um, some like a trigger for you, something that is, they may do something you feel like you can't move on or you can't like move on from. It may be something that you do that you will later want forgiveness for, or you may later regret. It may happen because you're being a little bit obstinate or like fixed. You may be trying to like be a martyr in some senses. And so that may be part of what comes up, and again brings up those emotions that we had in the energy card, or may bring up the disruption that comes up. So that is definitely something to deal with. It may also be a forgiveness, like something that comes up, like we talked about in the energy cards with the emotion, something that comes up that you need to forgive again to move on, like something that may be keeping you stuck that you need to move through to move on from. This could also look like forgiving yourself so that you can move on, getting yourself out of like a self imposed prison, feeling this week like you finally want to get out of isolation, you want to move on, you're ready to forgive yourself, your circumstances, whatever it um, is also part of the energy. And like I said, it could be related to following your dreams, or it could be related to just needing to forgive yourself so that you can move forward in life in general. And that coming up for you this week, especially like I said, with the emotions. Then we have the individuality card and the Knight of Cups as the clarifier. So there's also something specifically this week about like coming back to yourself, standing up for yourself, speaking up for yourself, standing in your truth, especially if some of the emotions or the things that you move through have you thinking differently, wanting to move differently than other people, than the other people's opinions or other people around you, or how you would normally be. It's really a time this week for you to like be really loud and proud about who you are. That could look like how you dress. That could look like doing something different with your hair. That could look like I said, moving a certain way that's more authentic to how you're feeling right now. It could look like that could look like moving in different waters or spaces, because we have the waters at the bottom, doing something that you wouldn't normally do, or going into somewhere that you're kind of unfamiliar with. And even though this person looks a little bit stern in the card, and there's a bit of a, like I said, authority to your week in terms of asserting yourself, it's still kind of soft. It's still kind of kind. You know what I mean? It's not like, fuck you, ah, ah. You know what I mean? It's very much like, this is what I think, this is what I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. And like, I'm good if you don't agree with that, because this is what I think, this is what I'm doing. Like that's kind of the energy that we're bringing with the individuality. So, this is what I'm getting for the specifics of your week. Let's move into your words of wisdom. Okay, so your words of wisdom from the week come from the. Okay, so your words of wisdom for this week come from the Motivation Manifesto. We have forgotten the natural foe to life is not a distant death, but a present in the moment detachment from living. Living is all of the moments, right? It's the good and the bad. It's being able to appreciate the good because of the things that have happened, or appreciate where you've come to because of the things you've come through. And so I feel like that's what this card is speaking to. And like I said, there may be a little bit of a roller coaster for your week in some ways, but being able to stay present, being able to find the moments of joy and happiness, being able to recognize why something is happening, and if it's being disrupted for a reason, and that you're always being moved in right direction, is really a part of living. So that's what I'm getting from our words of wisdom for this week. Y'all let me know what you think about the words of wisdom and how they resonate for you this week. But this was your reading for this week, y'all. Thank you so much for being here with me. Please follow the channel, like the video, share it with somebody who needs it. Like I said before, I am having a summer sale. So if you would like to book a reading, a 75-minute live, book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. Follow our podcast, Tiny Musings. July part 1 and 2 is out right now. So definitely go listen to that to understand the energy of the month, what we're working through, things like that. Follow me on Instagram at Tiny Divinations. And again, thank you so, so much for being here with me. I appreciate y'all so much. If you have another pile, I will pick. If you have another pile, I will see you there. If not, I will see you in our next reading. welcome in group two. Let's get into your cards. So, the Motivation Manifesto is actually your words of wisdom, so we'll get back into that later. The card you have for the energy of your week is Lotus Flower. So, part of the energy that we have for your week with the lotus flower feels like peace. It feels like relaxation and feels like an inner knowing. It feels like a calm energy over your week. It feels like even if there are things that are going on, you're very calm. You move through things very calmly. You move through things with like an energy of like not holding on to anything, not letting it bother you in the same way that you may normally or that other people are allowing it to bother them. It feels like you have a wisdom. It feels like there may be a spiritual connection or a spiritual knowing or intuition, like your intuition is just working in overdrive. And that may be part of the reason why you're not worried about things because you just have a feeling of how it's going to turn out or you have a feeling of what to do. Also, my hand just started itching. So you may be getting money this week as well, which doesn't necessarily like read and hear, but my hand just started itching. So it just feels like there may be flow for you this week. Things are just flowing easily for you. Things are coming in. We also have like mail in this. So it may again be that things are coming in, just the validation of that. It may be messages that are coming in. It may be opportunities. It may be money. It may be enlightened information. So that is some of the energy that I'm getting from the lotus flower. It just feels, like I said, feels very calm. It feels very peaceful. It feels like a connection with the spiritual. It may also be like an ancestral connection. So that is part of what I'm getting with this card. Let's pull some more cards to get a little bit more of the energy for your week. Okay. Okay. Never give up phrases motivation. And then power lines energy. So, part of the reason why things may be feeling really easy and relaxed and peaceful, like I said before, is because you're really in touch with your intuition, or you're really in touch with the signs, or the nudges that the universe are giving you. And so, that may be part of why you have like a calmer demeanor about things, right? You know how things are going to go. You're motivated, you are knowing of things. And so, you're not as flustered by shit. Also, it may be that you are adding in certain things this week in terms of the energy. So you may be adding in affirmations. You may have started adding in affirmations before and you're starting to see them work. You may be adding in meditations or some kind of tool that is allowing you to release worry, release fear, add in confidence, enhance your feelings of success or your feelings of your abilities or, more positivity in general. And so that is part of what's working. You may, like I said before, be getting signs throughout the week that are showing you what to do or telling you not to give up or telling you to hold on or telling you where to go or giving you the nudges from the universe or like I said with that spiritual connection that we had in the lotus flower card. So like that feels like part of it. And if it's not something that you're seeing, it's definitely something that you should be looking out for and or adding to your practice in terms of the tools that I was just talking about. And then we have the power lines energy card. And again, even though it's like energy and you would think it's like a lot in action and kind of motion, the sky behind it is still very calm. So everything gives a very calm, relaxed energy. And so part of it to me with the power lines card says that this week we need to be in alignment with our energy, right? So when you have energy, move in kind. When you're feeling more sluggish or slow, respond in kind. Like listen to your body, take a break, relax, do something else, turn your brain off, get away from the screen, do whatever it is you have to do to move within the energy of what you're feeling. Okay. And if for some reason you've been feeling run down or tired, you feel like you don't have much energy, then that's something that we need to look into. You may need to go get a panel done, go to the doctor. You may already know what you need to take. So like taking the actual supplements that you need to take to charge you up this week is also a thing that we may be wanting to do or doing already. Um, so, yeah, this is the energy that I'm getting from these cards. Let's move into some specific things that may happen this week. Okay, so looking into some more specific things that may happen this week. Oh, okay. Change, leadership, pride, effort. Oh, my bite. Okay. Let's get some clarifiers. Okay. Okay, so starting with the change card, we have the change card, and then we have the 10 of coins and the 6 of coins as a clarifier. So, part of what I think specifically may come up this week for you is you being rewarded for something, you being rewarded for energy that you've put in, you being rewarded for work that you've done, you being rewarded for being kind to someone or generous or um, always like being. Something someone can lean on, or someone can lean on, I should say. Always being like very steady and very consistent with whatever you're doing. That could be in work, but it could be outside of work as well. And I feel like either it's like you'll see rewards within work, you'll see rewards within praise, you'll see rewards within the universe rewarding you with something random, or like somebody coming back and giving you something because you gave them something, or helping you in some way because you helped them. And this being part of what comes in this week, it, with the change card, it could also be that like um, part of what's happening this week, or part of what happens this week with a specific situation or just in general that comes up, is that you're recognizing where you need to kind of level up in something in your life, where you've kind of given all you can, or like done all that you can at this level, and now it's time for you to do something bigger, or that it's time for you to look for something different, or to move um, onto a new phase of it or something like that. But like that's part of what comes up with these cards. Then we have the leadership card, and the clarifier for the leadership card is the 2 of cups. So part of what I'm getting for that is, for some people, there's something in terms of partnership that you need to take the lead on, whether that's in love, whether that's in a partnership situation with like friends, or something where you're working on something together, or something that you've talked about working on together, but like that there's a way that you need to kind of step up in the situation. Either if it's like a partnership situation, tell people what you're thinking or how you want to do things, and see how they want to do it. You need to like set up the meeting. You need to do something authoritative in some way to like get things going, or to get things moving, or to recognize where we're trying to go in some way. This is the same thing if it is like a love relationship. um there's a way in which it feels like you need to kind of step up, and that may be like letting people know how you feel about something, or letting them know how you feel about them. Step up in terms of making the plans, or um, you may be looking for more leadership from the other person, in terms of them kind of stepping up and making a like a real step, or like a real what am I trying to say, like decision, or just like to show up for you, you know what I mean, to show up for the partnership, to show up for the relationship, to just like let you know that they mean business in a sense. In some ways, whether it's romantic or platonic, whatever kind of relationship it is, there's a way in which these cards also speak to like showing somebody how to care for you, or showing somebody how to love you, or letting them know and letting them in to the ways in which you want to be cared for and loved. So that also comes up with these cards, and that's kind of um, not as big as the other things that I was saying, but it's definitely a thing. Then we have the Pride card and our two clarifiers, the Five of Wands and the Devil reverse. So um, specifically, there may be situations where you go back and forth with somebody. You may have your ego talk for you in spaces. They may have their ego talk for them. It may be a little bit of like a pissing contest this week. You may have a situation where um, somebody or you um, says something or does something that is from a place of um, I want to say like my first thought was malice, but it's like overconfidence or like um kind of being too into themselves or something like that, right? And that shit coming to bite you in the ass in some way. When I first pulled the Pride, before I even pulled the clarifiers, the first thing I thought was the Pride comes before the fall. Like that's literally what I thought. And so there are ways in which that could be some of the energy that comes up this week, whether it's with you, whether it's with other people. It could be a group of people fighting. It could be not making decisions on things because people are being obstinate because of what they believe, or not wanting to change their opinions on certain things, or not wanting to see the other side of things. People just like digging their feet into the ground for certain reasons. So this could cause a rift. This could cause bigger issues in the end. This is a timeless reading, but as of when I'm recording this, it is Mercury retrograde. And so that could be part of the reason why this issue, miscommunication, argument, disruption kind of comes up. But we definitely want to try to correct it before it becomes a larger issue, or before it becomes a deeper wound in some cases. So that's definitely something to think about. And then we have the effort card with the clarifier, the Three of Coins. So it feels like specifically there's something that we're meant to work on this week, or learn this week, or understand or study that we may not want to do, that we just may not have the energy to do, that we may not care to do, that we may not see the value in. But there's a way in which, and again, it may be something that's a literal thing that we need to study, get knowledge on, work through, work with other people. Um, to get done, like that some of this may come up with the Pride thing that we were talking about here, but that may be part of what you need to put effort in to work through so that you can get to a solution or to get to an end. It may be like I said, literally like having to understand something, study something, pick something up, um like some kind of knowledge. It could also be understanding the lessons within the things that are happening this week, and picking up the lessons, and picking up the understanding of like how you're supposed to take this forward, or what this means, or how you're trying to supposed to move through this, or something like that. So that's part of what I'm getting with the effort card. Like I said, it feels like whatever it is that is coming up, whether it's related to the things that we had before, whether it's figurative or like literally learning something, it feels like there's a way that it's a little bit drudgery, and it feels like you are kind of going to have to like push yourself to get to the end of it, or push yourself to get through it, or push yourself to do it, but you won't regret it when you do. Like it'll definitely bring you back, or see, bring you out to a better place. It'll definitely have you in a better place of understanding. It'll definitely bring you to a higher level of knowing, and it'll help you like moving forward. So definitely push yourself to do it. Remember this if you get to a space this week like that. So, this is what I'm getting from the specific things. Let's wrap your reading up with your words of wisdom. Okay, so let's get into your words of wisdom for this week. We have the 9 declarations. This is from the Motivation Manifesto deck. And I love that you started with the enlightenment cards. We talked about study and the specific. And then instead of getting like real words of wisdom, you have a mantra or something to study, or principles, you know? So I really love that for y'all. The 9 declarations. 1, meet life with full presence and power. 2, reclaim your agenda. 3, defeat your demons. 4, advance with abandon. 5, practice joy and gratitude. 6, do not break integrity. 7, amplify love. 8, inspire greatness. 9, slow time. I love this last one. I love that a lot. So I think all of these make a lot of sense. It goes with the energy of the things that you had for this week. It goes with the specific things that you had going on with this week, especially with our effort and our 3 of coins. So this is your words of wisdom for this week, y'all. And this is your reading. So thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate you so, so much. Let me know how your week is. Let me know how the words of wisdom resonate. Let me know how the cards resonate. Share this message with somebody who may need it. Like the video. Um, Definitely book with me if you would like your own personal reading. Like I said, I'm having a summer reading sale. My 75-minute reading is on sale for 40% off. You'll see the discount when you put it in the cart. So book with me. I would love to read with you. Follow our podcast, Tiny Musings. Our July part 1 and 2 of our Tiny Collective are both out right now. Follow me on Instagram at Tiny Divinations. And again, thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate y'all so, so much. If you have another pile or number, I will see you there. If not, I will see you in our next reading. Welcome in group 3. Let's get into your cards. So the first card you have is your words of wisdom. So we'll get back into that later. The card that you have for the energy of your week is Skull Endings. So the energy that we have with the endings card definitely has some kind of transition. We have the skull here. So there's something that could be ending, that could be at a completion phase, something that could have just ended. We have what I noticed first with the card, which was the world's book holders here, that would be the world that are like separated. So there could be some kind of disruption in your world. There could be something taken out of your world in a sense, or removed from your world. There could be something that you learn about that brings disruption or brings removal to your world. Whatever happens, the other thing that kind of pops out to me is the calendar. Like, anyway, my thought was like, every day the sun don't shine, but that's why I love tomorrow. You know what I mean? So it's like the day's got to end. You know, at the end of the day, the day's got to end. And so even if there are things that um, are happening this week, it's like you're turning a page in some way, and it's time for it to happen, and you're ready for it to happen, even if you don't recognize that you're ready for it to happen. There's a way in which things are supposed to end for you to grow. We have the plant coming out here. It may also be that there's energy this week for something to grow out of something that you thought was dead, or something that has ended, but it like gives you a new opportunity to do something else, or to like grow in a new way. There is peace energy in this card, and change energy in this card, and transformation energy in this card. And it may be with the bookshelf, there may be like a new restructuring, or a moving around of chips in a certain way in your life. So that's what I'm getting from the first card that you have. Let's get some more cards to see a little bit more of the energy for your week. Okay. Okay, so we have endings, good luck, divine guidance, and emotions. I also had surrender pop out, water surrender. So we have, again, coins, good luck, moon's emotion, moon emotions, stars, divine guidance, and water surrender. So part of what this makes me think this week is like everything is moving in divine time and for your betterment. You know what I mean? Everything that is happening this week, things that will happen, the things that go on, all of it is literally, it feels like shifting things for you. It feels like it's moving things to lighten your load, to make things easier for you, to make them more abundant for you, to like make you more light as a person, like in, you know, and or these different ways um, that there is a way in which these changes that are happening are happening for your betterment, and that in some cases some people are not necessarily with the energy of the change or transformation or the endings or the removal or the things that you find out or like the things that come up or the ways in which they're trying to get you to grow. It may bring up some emotions around that, you know, and I don't want to lean into what they might be because it feels like a lot of different emotions for a lot of different people may come up. But and if they are more negative emotions, try to do your best to kind of like imagine you're in a pool, as your life right now is as a pool, and you kind of just gonna lay back and you're gonna float. You know what I mean? And you're just gonna allow it to take you and be calm and know that like you're not gonna drown and that you're able to float. Your body's naturally able to float, but that also like, you know, the forces that are around you, the water that you're in, whatever, is here to guide you. It's here to help you. It's here to allow for the things that you want to happen, the ways in which you want to grow. Like I said, it may be unconsciously, but it's all in flow. And so if things are scary or if you're feeling like you're unsure about things, kind of just lay back and let it happen, in the idea that like this is all happening for the betterment. This is all happening for the good. I don't know what's happening, but I know why it's happening, and it's for my best and my brightest. The stars card also makes me think of wishing on a star in a sense, and you have the good luck coins here. So that might be part of the energy of this week, like speaking into existence what you want, calling it in, saying it out loud, you know, like wishing for it in a sense, petitioning for it in a sense, or just envisioning that you're going to find what you need or find um, you know, luck be bestowed on you this week, or you know, something like that. The stars and the divine guidance card also makes me think of like celestial energy, and magic in general. And so being able to utilize magic energy, whether that's because you're literally a practitioner, and or you're somebody who's just able to like look around and see the magic in your week, um, and you know, utilize your own magic. But again, it's like a set it and forget it kind of thing. That's also part of the energy of this week. So that's what I'm getting from these cards. Let's move into some specific things that we got going on. Okay, so getting some more specific things that may happen this week. Music, spirituality, environment. Maybe you need to get outside. Also, we have environment and we had that divine, um, what was it? Divine guidance with the stars. So also makes me think of getting outside, and the moon. So there may be something to getting outside at night, doing something at night. You may be outside at night more this week, or you may want to get outside at night. You may, that may be like relaxing for you, or somewhere where you get peace, or you're able to think or make decisions or something like that, or connect. have abundance, and then we have nature. So double and tripling down on the getting outside of it all. I'm also just going to get a few clarifiers. Okay. Sorry, y'all, I had to pause for a second. Let's finish getting our clarifiers. Okay. Okay, so starting with our music card, the clarifiers we have are the Eight of Swords and the Knight of Swords. So there's something to the music that you're listening to this week. The music that you're listening to, if you're somebody who listens to affirmations or like spoken word or something like that, the music that you listen to, the frequencies, the things that you're intaking this week, whether it's literally music or it also makes me think of like social media or TV or movies, things like that. It should be something that is empowering you, something that uplifts you, something that helps you move from places of fear or stagnancy or scarcity. Yeah, definitely. Or scarcity or less like not, less thanness or feeling unconfident. Um, you want to add in things that are going to help you with that make you feel the opposite of that, things that help you feel motivated, things that help you feel confident, things that help you feel powerful, things that remind you who you are, things that are in alignment with what you want in life, with what you want to do, with what you want to have. Like you're feeding yourself with the music this week. It's very intentional, right? We don't want to listen to things that are bringing us down. We don't want to listen to things that are kind of like a certain energy that we're not trying to um, bring more of or trying to sit in or enhance. Like we want to bring in the energies of movement, of motivation, of positivity, of um, I have or I will or I can or like, that kind of energy is what we're bringing in with the music card, because there's definitely ways that people um, need to move past playing it small or being scared of um, doing something or moving or just um, like more confident in general to be able to go off and do the things that you want to do or have more positive mindsets that then help you in the trajectory that you're trying to go. So that's what I'm getting from these cards. Then we have spirituality with the Five of Swords and the King of Wands as clarifiers. So similar to the energy we have with the music cards and the clarifiers there's something to it this week about being able to get over um, things that have happened, a way that you're feeling, a way that you were disappointed, and to realign with your faith, realign with your spiritual practice, realign with your belief of things to, again, like make things happen, move shit, like sit in your full power, be able to recognize what you can make happen and what power there is in that connection to the realms outside of yourself or the spirits outside of you, or to having a consistent practice and being able to build yourself up, right? That could also be aligned with what we're saying with the music. So it's like um in that example it would be you may listen to positive music for a couple of days, or you may listen to a specific song for a couple of days and then you see the results of that happening, and then you can see the alignment and the connection with what you were doing, with the forces outside of yourself, then aligning with what you want to happen. You know what I mean? You also have the environment and the nature card here for this week. So there's definitely something to things outside of you, forces outside of yourself, spaces outside of yourself. That could be literally working with elementals. That could be doing works outside, saying what you want outside. Um, so it's not like figuratively blocked by the space that you're in, right? Going and connecting with nature and allowing that to be inspiring to you, whether it's with your spirituality or with the abundance that we're going to talk about later on. But like there are ways in which there are a lot of things that can be recognized and shown outside of you. There are habits that you can be putting in that are connected to your spirituality, to your faith, to your beliefs. There are sounds and words and frequencies that can also add to that, that are forces, like I said, that are outside yourself that are helping to enhance or to expand or to bring more abundance around things that you're trying to motivate yourself around this week, or things that you're trying to move towards or move through. Okay. And then we have the abundance card. So there's definitely something specifically that can happen this week that brings you more, that makes you feel like you can have more, that makes you feel like you are actually expanding, or that things are moving in the right direction, or that there's like something coming for you. Part of what it looks like it deals with, we have the Seven of Coins as a clarifier and the Ten of Cups. This is actually an abundance card. This is a card of like spiritual and emotional fulfillment, and so we have both the abundance and the wealth of the things in both of these cards. And within the stories that these cards are related to in the Tarot of the Divine, it was kind of about moving in your own way, or moving in your own direction, or doing things that may be counter to other people, but like really sitting in their selves and who they were and how they wanted to be seen, and what they wanted from life. And that was kind of the themes in both of these stories. So part of what I think you can think of in this week in terms of abundance is, what ways can you expand, or what ways can you find to bring in more that are really aligned with doing things differently than other people, or really aligned with like how you want to live life, or who you are as a person, or what you want to represent. And that sitting in that is a way in which you can find ways to expand, or to bring in more, or to create something that helps you, like I said, bring in something later on. So um, or feel fulfilled in general. So yeah, all of these are what I'm getting from the specific things that we have going on this week. Let's wrap your reading up with some words of wisdom. Okay, so we come back to your motivation manifesto card, your words of wisdom for this week. Life is meant to be a vibrant, deeply felt, growing mosaic of long, meaningful memories. And this makes me think of like when you're putting in a mosaic, it's like if you're thinking of life or things that happen as the tiles, um, while something's happening, it can feel really um, heavy, or like it's a lot and it's really like present in that moment, right? But it's really just another piece of the puzzle. And then when you look at the whole piece in general, it would really be such a small piece of everything else that's going on, right? And I think that's something to keep in mind as you go through life, as you have things happen, that it's just a small piece of the larger part. It's just a moment. It's not something that you really have to um, imagine or see as something larger than what it is, because in time or with healing, again, it'll just be a small piece of a larger, you know, um, piece of art. So yeah, that's what I get from that. Y'all tell me what you get from that. I would love to know. But this is your words of wisdom for this week. And this was your reading for this week. So thank y'all so much for being here with me. Please share this message with somebody who needs it. Like the video, follow the channel if you're not already. If you'd like your own reading, book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. Like I said, I'm having a summer reading sale. My 75-minute live reading is 40% off. You'll see the discount when you put it in the cart. Follow our podcast, Tiny Musings with T. July Part 1 and 2 are out right now. Follow me on Instagram at Tiny Divinations. And again, thank you so much for being here. please let me know how your week is. If you have another pile, I will see you there. And if not, I will see you in our next reading.